Yo, just a quick off-the-cuff recording. This is for all you Optiplex fans out there who might be questioning, is it worth spending the extra money to get a 4790K, which in the UK currently costs, in fact I can show you exactly how much they are, so you know where to get one. So we're saying you got a Dell Optiplex, you got your GPU, all that, and you're now thinking, right, I want the best processor. So there you see, £80 will get you one with a 2-year guarantee from CEX, 4 GHz base clock. In the Dell Optiplex, that's only going to turbo to 4.1 on all cores, and I never saw it going above 4.3, so that would have been for a single core. Or you can have the 4770K, which will turbo up to 3.7 for 50 quid. And I think the 4790, that's got a slightly higher base clock. That's £48. I'm not sure what that will turbo up to. So yeah, there's your choices. Personally, I'd say the 4770K is the best one. Then you can put it on another board and overclock it. And in answer to the question, is it worth paying the extra 30 quid? Well, to save you watching the rest of the video, if you didn't want to, no, in an Optiplex it's not worth it. But if you're a overclocker, for example, and you wanted to get like just that bit better benchmark scores, certainly back in the day when they were the top one, it would have been worth it, because they'll overclock on average a good couple of 100 megahertz higher. If on the other hand as well you got the Optiplex and you're hell bent on having a Haswell one and you've got to have the best, you can get slightly better results. So we'll dive into the benchmarks. So we're using a thing here called User Bench. And on the basic rankings, on the 4790K, it come out gaming 65%, desktop 82%, workstation 55%. This is with an overclocked GTX 1070 and 16 gigabytes of 1600 RAM. The 4770K, you can see, is a little bit lower, 62% gaming, 79 desktop, workstation 51. If we drill down into it, hang on, let's get them both at the same point. So you can see, how does it, I don't even know how it works, this bit, but you can see it clocked during the bench. That was 4.1. It obviously helped the graphics card work a little bit better, so you got 107 FPS there and 86 on your DX10. And yeah, slightly worse performance there, but the other difference, I think the hard drive worked better, or the solid state. And you can see your memory transfer rate, 19.8, 19.2 there for single core. Slightly better. So overall it is a little bit better system according to that benchmark. If we do Unigine benchmark here, that tends to only use 4 threads. That likes the higher clock speed. So with the 4790K, we got a score of 4720, which played the 4770K's 4578, and that's mainly a graphical benchmark, but obviously it does use the CPU. You can see I've got a score there of 4903. That was in actual fact with the 4670K overclocked to 4500 megahertz, but as I say, that only uses 4 threads. So obviously a higher clock speed does help quite a lot on there. I did superposition 8K. The score was literally within the margin of error. There was nothing in it. Right, so the other benchmarks I've got is, we'll start off with Firestrike, because a lot of people with their budget builds like to reference that. So 4770K, like I say, the graphics card's been set the same on both. That come out 14438. versus 15078. So I don't know, would say there's something about Battlefield 65 plus FPS. Says the same. So there you go. Fire Strike Ultra. So that 4517, 70 plus FPS for Battlefield. On the 4790, 4586. So what we're talking, not even, I don't even know as a percentage what we're looking at, like 2% or something. So anyway, that's that one. And then Time Spy. This one seems to always reflect more in real life, in my experience. If you want to know the difference between one setup and another, for me, Time Spy is normally your most accurate one. So you got 5817 on the 4770K, and then you got 5947. So I mean, it's hardly anything as a percentage. And I would say, having played a couple of games just to try it out, and we'll take Fortnite for example, because I do a lot of testing on that. Medium settings, I just cannot seem to get anything with these Haswells where I can play higher than medium on the pre-settings on there. And I even just tried moving just the view distance up to far, and that was it. You're just getting big frame drops. So it's negligible. Arguably, I would say if you was playing Fortnite with the two processors, you're less likely to get any frame drops with the 4790. But to be honest, you ain't going to notice the difference. If you can't overclock, and even if you could overclock to use as a daily, I would honestly say there is no point spending 60% more money to get a 4790K over a 4770. If I was to put a price on how much extra I think the 4790K is worth, I would probably say a tenner tops. Because to be honest, once you start getting up to that £80 price point for a CPU, you're into Skylake territory and things like that. Then you might as well just get yourself on a better platform if you're going to start spending that sort of money. That's where I'm at with it. But anyway, I wanted to find out if the 4790K was any better. I'm guessing if anyone who's watched this far, they were going to want to know as well. And the answer is it's not really worth doing. But if you could find one, if you was upgrading from an i5 or something, and it was only, say, a 5 or a 10 dearer than a 4770K, then it might be worth it. You will need to do a BIOS update, though. But that was fairly pain-free. Just literally downloaded it off the Dell site. You can access it as an application from Windows 10, and it literally just does it all automatically for you, so it's pretty easy. Yeah, I was just having a quick look, and the 6700K, which is the Skylake i7, and that also has a 4 GHz base clock. You're going to be running DDR4 memory as well with that. You're literally paying £80 for it. So straight away, that sort of answers the question about whether a 4790K is worth it. I mean, you're going to be paying the same money for an old hat CPU when you could go for something that is a massive step forward, having the better memory,